All right, today we're going to find a missing angle measurement, and you're going to see a symbol that maybe you haven't seen before. And inside the triangle, we're going to ask you to find a specific angle measure. And we typically use the symbol, it's called theta. Okay, it's called Theta. It's a theta symbol to represent our missing angle measures. And it's a Greek letter, and we just happen to use that more often than not. So it's going to be asking you to find the missing angle measure or find theta. And we do this in a very similar way to finding the missing side length. We're going to, since this is the angle measure that we're trying to find rather than the angle measure given, but we still want to determine which sides of the triangle that are labeled in reference to that angle. And so when I look across here, this would be the opposite side of the triangle from that angle theta, and this would be the hypotenuse of that triangle. So which of the sine, cosine, or tangent deals with opposite and hypotenuse? Okay, that would be the sine. So you would say sine theta equals the opposite leg is 27 units and the hypotenuse is 33. So that's what you're going to set up. Now quick, grab a calculator. Okay, so on your calculator, in order to solve this, you are going to divide the two numbers that you know here. You're going to take 27 and you're going to divide it by 33 and hit equals. And what it says is the sine of theta equals, and I get a decimal that is 0.8181, and it repeats, so it's going to round to 0.8182. Okay, now to find the angle measure, we're going to go in the opposite direction. We have to find what undoes sine. And if you look at your calculator, right above it you have a key that says sine with a little -1. Now if you're using your phone at home, you got to get your longer, bigger calculator, but you'll have a second button. And if you hit that second button, you're going to see your inverse functions. You're going to see, this is called inverse sine, you'll see inverse cosine, you'll see inverse tangent. So once you have that decimal, 0.8182, you're going to hit inverse sine. So on my calculator, I have to hit shift and then sine. And I get a value of 54.90 degrees. And we're going to round our answers to the nearest degree. So we would say this is 55 degrees. So that angle measure up there is 55 degrees. Okay, the second one, here's theta again, up in this upper top corner here. So I have the opposite side to that angle, and I have the adjacent side to that angle. So when I think of SOHCAHTOA, opposite and adjacent is tangent. So I would say tangent of theta equals the opposite leg goes on top, and the adjacent leg is next. Okay, so in order to solve that on my calculator, I'm going to do the division here. So 35 divided by 12 and hit equals. And then I have to do the inverse tangent. So I get 71.07, and then a bunch of numbers. So that's going to round to 71 degrees for theta. Okay, and then lastly here, make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. Lastly, here's theta down in the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, I have the adjacent side that's next to theta. I don't have the opposite side labeled, but this is the hypotenuse. So when I think of adjacent and hypotenuse, that is cosine. So I'd say the cosine of theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, so if I do the division, 15 divided by 19, it equals 0.7895 is what I would round that to. Or you don't even have to round, you can leave your calculator on this and then just hit your inverse cosine button. I get 37.8, which would be 38 degrees for theta. Okay, that's how you find your missing angle measure, and you have the worksheet. It's labeled 71B on the worksheet, but it's 71C for us.